India is the beacon and the ray of hope that I think for all of fintech all across the world. But I think recently in the last year itself, we've seen India is the second most heavily invested in terms of fintech. Having said that, while the areas which are typically get a lot of focus tend to be around the wallets, etc., which has always been a wave that happened over the last couple of years. Now I think there is a slight more expansion in terms of areas and segments that we are looking at, and therefore what has caused a lot of interest amongst the VC community. But what I really find interesting is two specific areas that VCs are really interested in right now, which is credit, both on the consumer as well as on the merchant side, and of course, personal finance management and investment management solutions, both of which have already taken off. And the offshoots of that happened in the last 2 years, where you saw a lot of fintechs get investment, specifically on being able to solve some other problems, which is being able to manage money or being able to manage investments, which is not something that one would customarily find with a economy such as ours. But then that also leads to the fact that also tells us a little bit about how VCs are thinking about broadening the pyramid of users who are both on digital and using digital payments. Payments has been the test bed of all kind of both global and local companies coming in. But I hope that we have gone beyond payments and fintech as it exists, which is financial technology, start seeing the uptake that we've always been expecting, but never really seen it happen in India. Everybody said banks will get killed because fintech came in, and now fintechs are partnering with banks, and the ones that are actually partnering with the banks and the networks are actually are actually ranked as unicorns and above, and are being bought over. So suddenly everybody's gone back to working with fintechs instead of working against fintechs, and fintechs also doing the same. So unfortunately, maybe I'm old or maybe I'm a traditionalist, but I really feel that everybody needs to work together in the ecosystem for anything good to happen, whether it is financial inclusion, which is broadening the base of the pyramid and actually reaching and having financial services reach those who are actually the underserved, or reaching those who are actually the well-served and at the same time are the cynosure of everybody's eyes. Having said that, as far as banks are concerned, I think banks have some problems to solve, and I think we've spent reams of paper just talking about why banks either are going to die or they don't seem to exist, they don't seem to innovate. But at the end of the day, they are solving a problem, and that problem itself is actually broadening because of the technology divide that is now being created between the haves and the have-nots. So if you think about the problem that we are trying to solve, the problem itself has changed and has evolved. Therefore, banks have to work with fintechs, because fintechs offer both easy access as well as innovative capabilities that banks may not, within the regulatory gambit, be able to solve. Having said that, in India, to answer the question in terms of what is being done and how the evolution is happening, while the Aadhaar and the India Stack has actually democratized both information, access, as well as availability, and therefore user and consumer data and consumers being the fulcrum of all innovation. I think what is also changing is, because of the India Stack, a lot of the services that are being built on top of it, which uses this as a black box and probably also as an innovation layer, is something that is actually broadening the horizons of what fintechs can do in India as compared to, say, 5 years ago, where this was not existing. Having said that, the regulatory environment doesn't really help when there's a flip-flop. And I'm sure Mandar will be able to speak to this better and should elaborate, where because of the flip-flop environment, fintech innovates and then they are hit by regulatory challenges, and then it's 2 steps forward and many steps backward. Now, because of that, banks seem to win in this small little race that we are seeing, which is a snapshot of time, 3 to 5 years. But if you look at the longer and the bigger picture of what is going to emerge, fintechs will continue to innovate on those use cases that are going to take these services to much, much beyond what a bank's reach is ever going to be, not in terms of consumers, but in terms of consumer behavior changes that are needed for payments to grow and transaction behaviors to become digital. But at the same time, banks are going to be also the stepping stone for fintechs to be able to create and to be able to operate within the regulatory gambit that banks can provide. And I know that there have been a few cases with a couple of banks going bust, and obviously the complete infrastructure needed to shift. But then it brings forward the same questions that we've always had in product, which is, do you have a single point of failure? How do you build redundancy into the system? What do you need to do in order to be able to serve better and bigger and scale? And that's what banks have been doing for many number of years. So in India, if I see Paytm, for example, I don't see and look at it as a financial technology company. I look at it as a much bigger conglomerate, which kind of encompasses and brings in elements of both business, finance, financial technology, payments, e-commerce, and everything else. I hate to call it a super app because I think the entities and the legal guidance that they have, therefore, makes them a conglomerate business, not just a single super app, which kind of marries elements and brings them in. And Paytm is a prime example because it's obviously one of the top 10 most highly funded companies in the world. So obviously one must talk about it. But having said that, there are many other companies ranging from both wealth management to insurance tech to actually regulatory tech, which have actually emerged in just the last 10 years. And if you just look at the landscape, you'd be able to guess that most of these companies have not just innovated, they have actually built stable businesses, and some of them are actually beta positive. So we tend to lose that sight of that bigger picture because we tend to think fintech is all about valuations, but fintech is also about making money. And the companies that are making money are very few and far between, but they have a revenue business model in this very large, crowded ecosystem to actually stand the test of time. So I'm actually more happy about that and them actually working with large operators in the market to be able to create something of significance, which I think will outlive the test of that 5, 10 years. That is a typical startup time to it for it to be successful.